Australia is a nation built on diversity, opportunity, and the belief that people from every corner of the globe can come together to create a better future. It has long prided itself on being a society where multiculturalism is not just tolerated, but celebrated. But beneath the surface of this image lies a growing challenge, an unseen threat that has been steadily expanding across communities, both online and offline, since 2020. Extremism, in its many forms, has quietly gained ground, testing the very fabric of Australia's social cohesion. The rise of extremist ideologies in Australia did not happen overnight. It has been gradual, quiet, and often hidden in plain sight. Since 2020, the combination of political polarization, pandemic-induced isolation, and growing distrust in institutions has created fertile ground for radical ideas to take root. Some of these movements are imported from overseas, echoing global trends of far-right nationalism, religious radicalism, and conspiracy-driven subcultures. Others are homegrown, shaped by uniquely Australian grievances and historical tensions. What makes this shift particularly dangerous is how subtle it often appears. Extremism rarely begins with outright calls for violence. Instead, it starts with doubt about government, about science, about the intentions of fellow citizens. Online forums and social media groups amplify these doubts, presenting them as truths. With repetition, misinformation hardens into belief, and belief into identity. By the time communities see the results in real life, the damage is already underway. During the COVID-19 pandemic, this process accelerated dramatically. Isolation left millions of Australians spending more time online than ever before. In the absence of face-to-face interactions, digital spaces became the primary arena for both information and connection. Unfortunately, they also became breeding grounds for radicalization. Fringe ideas that once lived on obscure message boards were pushed into mainstream feeds through algorithm-driven recommendations. Narratives about government overreach, fabricated health risks, or us versus them divisions gained traction in households across the country. The consequences have not been limited to abstract online chatter. Real-world incidents have already revealed the dangers of unchecked radicalization. From small but disruptive community protests, to hate speech graffiti targeting minority groups, to tense clashes between ideologically opposed groups at rallies, the echoes of online extremism are translating into tangible fractures in Australian communities. While these incidents may seem minor in isolation, together they point to a deeper, more worrying trend: the erosion of social trust. Mainstream media often focuses on the most dramatic cases, arrests, plots, or public scandals tied to extremist activity. But extremism's impact extends far beyond headlines. Its real damage lies in how it undermines trust between communities on a daily basis. When one community begins to see another not as neighbors, but as threats, the bonds of coexistence weaken. Immigrant families may feel increasingly isolated, fearing that they are being silently judged or scapegoated. Religious groups may hesitate to publicly practice their faith, concerned about becoming targets of verbal or even physical harassment. Even long-established communities start to turn inward, uncertain whether others still see them as equals. Local councils and community leaders are on the front lines of this struggle. They face the delicate task of balancing free speech with public safety, and inclusion with accountability. Many councils report rising polarization in local debates, from planning meetings to school board discussions, where extremism colors arguments about issues that should be straightforward. What once might have been resolved through dialogue is now clouded by suspicion. The economic and social consequences of fractured cohesion are equally significant. Tourism, one of Australia's most vital industries, depends heavily on the country's reputation as a safe, welcoming destination. Yet stories of community tension or extremist activity damage that image. Businesses too feel the strain. In an environment of distrust, collaborations falter, customer bases shrink, and innovation suffers. At its core, extremism doesn't just divide people, it undermines prosperity. If the growth of extremism has been fueled by the internet, then the battle against it must also be fought online. Extremists have become increasingly sophisticated in how they spread propaganda. Gone are the days when extremist material was limited to shadowy corners of the web. Today, it circulates on both fringe platforms and mainstream social media, cleverly disguised in memes, short videos, and coded language that bypasses traditional moderation. Recruitment often begins subtly. A user might stumble upon a seemingly harmless group discussing personal freedoms, patriotism, or cultural pride. Over time, the group introduces more radical ideas, framing them as logical extensions of the original conversation. Algorithms, designed to keep users engaged, play an unintended role by recommending similar content that pulls individuals deeper into extremist echo chambers. Tech companies and governments have attempted to respond, but with mixed success. Platforms like Facebook, X, and YouTube have introduced stricter content moderation policies, investing in artificial intelligence tools to detect harmful material. However, extremists adapt quickly, finding new ways to skirt detection. Meanwhile, overly aggressive moderation risks creating the perception of censorship, which in turn feeds extremist narratives about silenced voices and hidden truths. The solution cannot rest solely in corporate or government hands. Individuals, too, must be empowered to recognize and respond to harmful content. Media literacy programs are critical, teaching Australians of all ages how to identify manipulative rhetoric, verify information, and avoid being drawn into cycles of outrage. Reporting mechanisms must also be strengthened, allowing citizens to flag extremist material without fear of reprisal or concerns about free expression. When people feel confident that they can take part in keeping digital spaces safe, the reach of extremist propaganda begins to shrink. Confronting extremism is not just about policing bad actors, it's about strengthening the social fabric that extremists seek to tear apart. Across Australia, grassroots initiatives and interfaith dialogues are already playing a crucial role. These efforts, often led by local community groups rather than large institutions, bring together people from different cultural, ethnic, and religious backgrounds to share perspectives and build trust. In some suburbs, interfaith dinners have become spaces where Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Jews, and others break bread together, dismantling stereotypes through simple human connection. Youth programs engage the next generation, offering safe environments where young people can explore identity, belonging, and civic responsibility without falling prey to radical recruiters. Education remains one of the most powerful tools for long-term resilience. Critical thinking, media literacy, and civic education equip Australians with the ability to question sources, analyze arguments, and resist manipulative tactics. Schools that embrace diversity as a strength, rather than a challenge, foster generations that see inclusion as the norm, not the exception. Looking ahead, Australia faces a critical choice. The government has already proposed updated strategies and legislation aimed at countering extremism, from strengthening intelligence sharing to regulating digital spaces. But policies alone will not be enough. The challenge of extremism is not just about security, it is about identity, belonging, and the shared values that define a nation. Media, too, plays a decisive role. The stories we tell shape how people understand their neighbors, their communities, and their country. Responsible reporting avoids sensationalism, instead focusing on facts, context, and solutions. Public discourse, when guided by fairness rather than fear, can become a powerful antidote to division. Ultimately, protecting Australia's social cohesion is not the job of government or institutions alone. It is a collective responsibility. Every Australian has a role to play, whether it is challenging misinformation when we see it, supporting community programs that bring people together, or simply extending kindness to those who feel marginalized. Extremism thrives in silence and indifference. Unity, on the other hand, grows through active participation. Australia's diversity is not a weakness, it is its greatest strength. But that strength must be nurtured, defended, and renewed. By confronting extremism with honesty, compassion, and resilience, Australians can ensure that the nation's future remains one of unity, trust, and shared purpose. The road ahead may be difficult, but it is also filled with opportunity. The opportunity to create a society that not only resists division but stands as a beacon of cohesion in an increasingly fractured world. So the question becomes not whether extremism will test Australia's unity, it already has. The real question is how Australians choose to respond. And in that answer lies the future of the nation.